The Silent Crown and the Gentle Earth. A bedtime story inspired by chapter 27, Gospel of Matthew. In a land where dawn was slow to rise and the wind carried both sorrow and song, there stood a quiet city made of stone and shadow. Its name was Sola, a place built on hills that had seen kings crowned, prophets walk, and pilgrims whisper prayers into the sky. But one morning, a strange stillness swept through Sola. The streets that were usually filled with chatter and footsteps seemed hushed. Even the birds flew lower, as if they too were listening. At the edge of the city stood a traveler named Yeshu. His robe was simple, his hands gentle, and his eyes full of something ancient, something like sorrow woven with love. He had once healed the sick and fed the hungry, but today he stood before judges and crowds who did not understand him. They wrapped him in a red robe, not to honor him, but to mock him. They placed a crown on his head, made not of gold, but of twisted thorns, and it pierced his brow. Yet even then, Yeshu said nothing. He stood like a tree in the storm, not resisting, not retreating, for he had chosen this path, not by force, but by love. Whispers moved through the streets like fog. Will he save himself? Is he the king? But Yeshu's silence was his answer. They led him through the city gate and up a hill named Golgotha, the hill of the skull. It was not a place of beauty, yet the sky above it looked painted in deep shades of mystery, blue like longing and gold like courage. There, the cross was raised, and there the earth waited. Yeshu was placed upon the cross with nails and tears. Around him stood soldiers, curious onlookers, and a few faithful hearts. His mother, quiet and brave, a friend named John, and others who could not walk away. As the hours passed, the sun dimmed. Though it was midday, the sky turned dark as twilight. It was as if the world itself was holding its breath. From the cross, Yeshu spoke, not with bitterness, but with compassion. Forgive them, he whispered, for they do not know what they are doing. And then he called out with a cry that echoed through the clouds, my God, why have you forsaken me? It was not a cry of despair, but of reaching into the deepest shadow to carry light there. When he took his final breath, the earth responded. The ground trembled beneath every foot. Stones cracked. Curtains in the great temple tore from top to bottom, as though heaven itself had opened a doorway. And hearts, even those of soldiers hardened by war, began to soften. One centurion, watching in awe, whispered into the hush, surely this was the Son of God. And in that moment, a strange peace fell upon the hill. They took Yeshu's body down gently. A man named Joseph, with hands worn by time and faith, wrapped him in clean cloth and laid him in a new tomb carved in stone. A round rock was rolled across the entrance, and the tomb became still. But something deeper stirred beneath that silence. The earth, though it held his body, did not weep. It waited, like a mother holding her child for a short rest, like a seed nestled in soil, preparing to bloom, and all of creation leaned toward that hill with quiet reverence. In the sky, the stars returned, soft, patient, and tender. The moon watched with silver eyes, and somewhere in the distance, the first birds began to hum, not in sorrow, but in expectation, because the story was not over. It was just folding into stillness, the kind that comes before the sunrise. Sleep now, little dreamer. The world may tremble, but love stands. The tomb may close, but the garden waits. And even in the deepest night, hope is already preparing to rise. If this brought you a moment of peace, feel free to subscribe for more calming content each day. Now, dear one, as you close your eyes and let this day slip away, remember the one who does not break the bruised reed, the one who heals gently, who teaches with wisdom, who speaks with calm. He is the Lord of rest, the comforter of the weary, the keeper of your soul. May your dreams be filled with golden fields and quiet streams. May your heart rest in the peace of knowing you are seen, loved, and called family by the one who walks through grain fields, still speaks truth, and always offers rest. Good night. Sleep peacefully in his embrace.